What happened? Same thing that always happens. Someone said to a New Vegas fan that Fallout 4 is also a good game. This is the result. We'll miss all those amazing characters.
What the f*** doing? My brother died at the Battle of Hoover Dam. You're desecrating a war memorial. Oh, now it's on!
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Brickmaker channel. Apologies for the small hiatus there. I'm sure you guys can understand when life gets in the way. But today I'm excited to bring you back another Fallout New Vegas challenge. Today we'll be asking, can you beat Fallout New Vegas as an NCR soldier? No need to spend too much time on the introduction, we're going to be focusing a lot on just pretty much guns. And I decided to take Trigger Discipline instead of Wild Wasteland this time. With no time to waste, the first thing we've got to do is make our way over to the NCR safe house. The character that I'd built in my head was this random NCR soldier who had been captured by Benny because he had found the platinum chip on a dead courier. As a result, he got captured and taken out. His goal right now is to make his way right back to the NCR. Luckily, on the way to the NCR safe house, I'm able to pick up some mantle armor. With my first piece of armor picked up, I finally make my way through the Black Mountain shortcut and arrive at the NCR safe house. Unfortunately for me though, it's currently locked. So with no idea on how to contact the NCR, the only thing that made sense to me was to head back to the only people that have helped me out and go help the town of Goodsprings, and maybe I can contact the NCR from here. While we're watching the intro quest, let's explain the rules. I can obviously only wear NCR armor and use NCR weapons. But a little added challenge as well is that I can only use NCR weapons while I'm wearing a specific armor. An example being while I'm wearing the mantle armor, the kind of standard trooper armor, I can use 9mm, service rifles, stuff like that. But if I find a cowboy repeater, I can't use it until I find some ranger armor. This is to add a little bit more of an immersion to the character. And with the Ghost Town gunfight quest complete, and obviously siding with the people of Goodspring against the Powder Gangers, I make my way over for one more weapon and pick up the special combat knife, Chance's Knife. Even though it's a great can weapon, it's still something that a lot of troopers have. So the only thing I've got left to do is to get my big old surface rifle. The people of Goodsprings told me about Prim, so I thought let me head over there. I take out any Powder Ganger on the way, as these are the people that attacked the NCR prison. And luckily, I'm able to run into my first NCR soldier. He gives me a nice warning about Prim, but obviously we're going to be taking over the town of Prim for the NCR. Something that goes without saying is that any quest that I encounter, I have to do completing it as if I was an NCR soldier. Meaning unfortunately this time, old Prim Slim ain't going to get the nod, even though President Kimball himself would give him the nod. After wiping out all the convicts, I have a nice little conversation with Deputy Beagle and get the quest from Johnson Nash to bring Law back to Prim. Luckily at this point as well, Johnson Nash is selling some service rifles, so I'm able to bolster my arsenal even a little bit more. I head straight over to the NCR camp and speak with Lieutenant Hayes, who gives me the mission to head over to the Mojave outpost. On the way there, it's as uneventful as usual. Take out a few convicts, wipe out a few Jackal gang members, and arrive at the outpost. I immediately start flirting with good old Major Knight, as this guy is the source of all repair for any character in the game, and I ask him to send some support to Prim. With that, I can start continuing the quest for all the different people at the Mojave outpost. Both the rangers give me quests to head over to Nipton, and to take out some ants on the way. The service rifle at this point is more than enough, and I've been able to pick up pretty much unlimited ammunition for the 9mm pistol. I also decide to head over to Hayes and confirm that Prim is now under NCR control, and start making my way over to Nipton. I find this random Jackal gang leader just in the middle of the desert for no reason after taking out everyone else, and I am starting to be pursued by the scariest man in the Mojave. Now, despite being a soldier, I shouldn't just attack civilians for no reason, but I do see that NCR correctional facility outfit, so he's got to go. And Boxcar, whose legs don't work, seemed to be fine as I'm pounding bullets into him. Something tells me old boxcars isn't so honest. Who would have thunk it? The convict sitting there begging for chems may have lied. When your legs don't work like they used to before. Okay, sorry for the singing. We're taking out the Legion at Nipton. Usually you get to speak to them. You cannot if you're wearing NCR outfits. They just attack you on sight. So the decision's made for me. I wipe out all the Legion soldiers and wipe out Vulpes and Culta as well. This would be quite a difficult fight for most low level characters, but the service rifle is doing some heavy lifting here. So I'm able to turn in the quest at the outpost and get a nice bit of XP and NCR rep. With all that complete, I'm feeling pretty confident that I can head back to the prison and start taking it back in the name of the NCR. I always found it really strange that there's no quest for taking this prison. I know if you side with the powder gangers, the NCR will turn up and attack the prison. And I always thought, why isn't there a quest like that from the opposite side, where you can help out the NCR to retake the prison? Again, it's early game, it's not really that important. I always just thought it didn't really make sense. Even if you have to take Prim for the NCR as the only way to unlock the quest, that would have made sense. Like Hayes can come up to you and say, with all the support and Prim under our control, we're able to take a few men and send them over to the prison. You can help them out. But instead, I just had to take them out solo, and there's no one that I can tell. You can't come back here and the NCR have taken over, which is unfortunate. And if I'm totally wrong, someone in the comments down below let me know. Speaking of comments, leave one down below. Tell me what you ate for dinner today. And to celebrate me failing to get this mine, leave a like and subscribe as well. It really helps out the channel. On my way to Novac, I ran into these travelling merchants who I want to help cross over this bridge. Luckily I was here because as these merchants started travelling over, a raiding party from the Legion attacked. With the merchant saved, I was able to pass my first ranger station. I pop my head in and ask what the situation is, and they point me into the correct direction for Novac. While I'm here, I'm able to speak to Ranger Andy, who just wants me to go back and check on the station that I just passed through. I unfortunately have to check it one more time, which is a little bit annoying. But luckily, when I head back, I'm able to save this other travelling merchant from a recruit to Canis. He must have been part of the raiding group that attacked Ranger Station Charlie, because once I arrived back, it was not a good sign. I do my best to, save the bodies so we can send them back for a burial. Unfortunately, I don't have as good luck going into this room. It is at this point though that I'm able to pick up an NCR Ranger patrol armor. And like I said at the start of this video, with a new armor unlocked, it also unlocks new weapons. I pop the NCR Ranger uniform on, and that means that my 357 Magnum and my cowboy repeater are now fully operational. I'm not sure how much of an upgrade it is. I mean, the service rifle and the 9mm are pretty strong as well, but not as strong as my Pip-Boy light. And I have to give Ranger Andy the bad news. He teaches me the Ranger takedown, which I don't think I ever used in this video. And with a recon sniper up in the dinosaur asking for some help, I thought it would be only fitting to help out a fellow soldier. This quest is as simple as it always is. Find the bill of sale, go speak to Jenny May, and let her know that I have to speak to her now in front of that dinosaur. My favourite way of doing it is to quickly hit wait, and then when you turn around, her head is gone. With that, I'm able to show the evidence to Boone, and for one of the very rare instances in these challenge videos, I'm able to pick up a companion. With a recon sniper watching my back, I thought I'll head over to Nelson to see the other NCR soldiers. Unfortunately, Boone and Ranger Milo give me the unfortunate information that Nelson's been taken over by the Legion. At this point in the playthrough, I don't feel confident enough to take Nelson back. So for now, I'm going to have to start heading towards Boulder City, where I know there should be a small garrison of NCR soldiers. Arriving at Boulder City, I first pay my respects to the fallen soldiers, and to one of the best damn characters. Everybody stand up and salute! With the respects paid, I head over to speak to Lieutenant Monroe. At this point, I did want to speak to Jessup, but I keep forgetting that I'm wearing NCR armor, and when you're wearing that, the Great Khans will always attack. Unless you go to Red Rock Canyon, but we'll leave that for later in the video, and I'll save what I think about that later. I obviously save the NCR soldiers who have been tied up, and give Jessup the old one too with the cowboy repeater. I don't think you get as much XP for doing it this way. I think the best way to do it is to speak to him first to get some information about Benny. But it doesn't matter as I'm able to pick up the engraved lighter anyway. With that, I head over to one of the biggest NCR installations in the game, Hoover Dam. Unfortunately at this point though, there's not much I can really do at Hoover Dam, so I just get it marked on the map for later and start making my way towards Camp Golf. Camp Golf is a place that has a quest for us as we're able to go speak to Sergeant McCready. We get the quest to help the Misfits, and we make sure to pick up the Lucky 38 VIP keycard, as it may come in handy later. We speak to Chief Hanlon, who is voiced by Chris Christopherson, one of the best country singers out there. And at this point in the game, I'm able to give the Misfits a nice little bit of shooting practice. Look at that. Look at that. That's me. That's me right there. Unfortunately though, when it comes to grenades, I don't have a goddamn clue. So we'll have to come back for that later. We mark the 188 trading post and start making our way towards New Vegas. The first place that we want to head over to is Camp McCarran, as that is the home base for the NCR in this game, and a nice little hotbed for quests. We speak to Major Doherty, who sounds extremely Irish when I pronounce it like that, but I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, and head over to speak to First Recon. If I'm going to do these quests, I want to do them properly. I want to actually utilise the First Recon squad when fighting Driver in the Fi. I've only ever done it once before in a casual playthrough, and even then I took everyone out before they even reached the recon team. So this time I actually want to draw them out. As you can see, it's nice having the extra weapons here. And when Driver in the Fi starts making his run forward, I don't even have to pull up my weapon. Lieutenant Gorbitz gives me a little bit of cash for the good work, and I also go to help over Corporal Betsy. But since I'm in the area, I decide to take out Violet. Which is, unfortunately, I did take the bloody mess perk at this point, and despite me shooting her in the chest, I completely blew her completely apart. I take out Queenie for Cook Cook, and allow them to do the rest of the business for me. By the time I get there, Cook Cook's already been taken out, and I'm able to pick up, well, his head at least in good condition. I let Corporal Betsy know that we took out Cook Cook. I don't want to describe the quest line because it's just not fun to do. Get all my bounties from the Major, and start making my way over to the New Vegas Medical Clinic so I can speak to Dr. Yasagi. I let her know that Corporal Betsy is on her way, as helping a fellow soldier is our duty. I've been able to get a few levels so I can head back to the Misfits and find the completely explosive part of their training. With that, it's another NCR quest complete, and I start another one. Lieutenant Curry Boy's got a prisoner that needs some roughing up, and despite her saying that I'm not part of the NCR, which is wrong, you're just wrong, you're wrong, Boyd, I am able to call Silas Stinky and start pounding him into dust. I always found it strange that Silas doesn't fight back. I mean, he's totally within his right to fight back. NCR uniform on, I'm able to head right into the strip for free and speak to Victor. I think this is the first time I have spoke to Victor in this gameplay. But with that, the first place I'm going to head over to is the Lucky 38, as I want to get some bottle caps for my snow globes. I get my money, and use the Lucky 38 VIP card to take out Mr. House. I know the order of this quest doesn't make sense, why would he take him out now, but it is a quest for later on. And I did it now in the interest of saving time. With Mr. House taken out, I get the nice little message for Ambassador Crocker, and remember that there's a Legion raiding camp that needs saved. At certain points during this gameplay, certain quests just came to my mind as I was playing, so you might see me darting around randomly. It's important for Boone later, so I untie the prisoners, and decide to head over to Camp Forlorn Hope. I think at this point in this gameplay, I decided that I was going to do Boone's questline, so that's why I'm starting to do all the stuff that gets his, like memory points back. So we're going to go and help Camp Forlorn Hope. The first quest is pretty simple, speak to Quartermaster Mays, and we got to go find his missing supplies. We arrive at Helios One, which also has a quest line for the NCR, but we're not going to do that straight away, we're going to go help Camp Forlorn Hope first. I'm able to pick up the supplies, and take out the Legion raiding party that's been waiting for me. With the supplies gotten, I go back to Mays, and head right over to Dr. Richards. or giving his official name, Dr. Dick. Hello Dr. Dick, how can I help? Well, luckily I've been putting enough into my medicine skill and everything you need to help these guys is lying around the tent, so I save all his patients. And Dr. Dick says he's grateful I helped him with his hard time. Major Pilates lets me know that he's going to give me a team to attack Nelson, and now I feel ready. I send Sergeant Cooper to the ridge to help with some cover and support. I'm able to snipe most of the Legion guys in the towers, and I get down and dirty into the middle of the camp with my 357 Magnum. I save the NCR troopers as this is vitally important for Boone's quest, and attack Dead Sea head on with just me and Boone, as the NCR soldiers do not come down and help if you send them to that ridge, which I forgot. With Dead Sea taken out, Boone comes up and talks to me about saving the NCR soldiers. This is pretty much the second one we've got. With that, we have saved Camp Forlorn Hope. We have restored hope. I quickly speak to the Tech Sergeant Reyes about Return to Sender, which is one of the longest quest line in the game, and I'm not going to do it straight away as I'll do it as I move around the map. For now, I want to head right over to Helios One and speak to Fantastic. We're going to get this back into working order, and the best way to do that is to lie to Revis. He will give us the terminal password and gets us into the facility. Not too difficult, just some low level robots to take out. We save Python, and we obviously send all the power to McCarran and the Las Vegas Strip. With that, we're able to flip the old switch, get blinded. With that, Fantastic takes all the credit, but remember, we don't do this work for fame. You're not a soldier for the praise. And I quickly go give the new radio codes to Comm Officer Schaefer. I quickly go speak to Ambassador Crocker to get his questline started as well, and make my way over to the boomers. At this point, you could probably tell that my mind is just jumping all over the place in terms of just completing quests. But hey, there's never a bad time to start the main questline. I speak to Pearl, and I don't have enough speech to be able to ask questions of Pete, so I use the skills that I've got. I use my medicine to help all the injured boomers, and at this point I have been hoarding all of the scrap metal. Pretty sure I had 22 at this point, and with that I'm able to activate the next quest for the boomers. Telling you guys, if you're going to side with the boomers, pick up as much scrap metal as you can cut out so many quests. My goal now is to go raise the Lady of the Lake. This is obviously very vital for the NCR as we're going to get air support during the Battle of Hoover Dam. And since I'm in the area of Bitter Springs, I thought why not head over to Comm Officer Tilden. With the ranger station upgraded, I can head over to Bitter Springs and start their quest as well. Obviously it would have made a bit more sense to do this when Boone's quest activates, but that generally can take quite a while, so why not just do it now. I speak to Captain Gills, and luckily when I was at the Crimson Caravan I was able to pick up all the psychology books. The next quest is to go get extra soldiers for support, and luckily the first two I've already completed their quests, so they send over extra soldiers without any hassle. Unfortunately, when I was at Camp McCarran, I forgot to do the quest for Colonel James Hugh. I'm not going to waste too much time on this quest, you guys know exactly what you do. You sit outside the radio tower, you go in, you eavesdrop on the conversation. Once you've heard enough, you decide that you are judge, jury and goddamn executioner, and you decide that Captain Ronald Curtis doesn't get to explain himself, he just gets a bullet to the chest. I input the deactivation code, and with that, Colonel James Hugh is very grateful. He lets us know that he will send as many soldiers as he needs to Bitter Springs. I had also changed my armor back over to the normal uniform for the service rifle, so I wasn't able to get the Ranger safe house yet, I forgot. But the one thing I didn't forget was to take out this great can. I am the scourge of the cans in this gameplay. With all the supplies found, the extra soldiers in, the doctor with an upgraded amount of stuff, I have saved Bitter Springs. I also hand in the quest for Loyal, and start making my way up to one of the furthest away ranger stations, the one by Jacobstown. With that station upgraded, I also decided to do the King's Quest, as I need to do it for Ambassador Crocker anyway, and the most NCR way of doing it would be to complete the quest to its final bit. So I have to follow old, what's his name, Oliver? Elias? I don't remember. and go complete the NCR quiz, which obviously I passed with flying colours. Because I am the NCR. I tell them the most boring password ever, and speak to Elizabeth Kieran about making peace between the kings and the NCR. Unfortunately, Pacer is not in the mood for that, but my sweet speaking skills is enough to get us past it. I hand in the quest to Crocker, but unfortunately I have to go all the way back to the king first, ask him to stop the violence, and head back to Crocker one more. It's here that I remember I can take off my uniform, and since I'm idolized, I get the NCR Ranger emergency radio, and I get the safe key for the Ranger station as well. With the safe house unlocked, I'm pretty much able to pick up the two endgame armors. You can pick up NCR Ranger combat armor and the helmet. I decided to give the power armor to Boone for now to make him look as nice as possible, and with my new fancy armor, I'm going to have to go buy some new weapons. For this one, I'm going to be able to use the anti-material rifle, hunting revolvers and the Ranger Sequoia, and especially the Sequoia because for some reason when you buy the mods for the hunting revolver, you can't add them to the weapon. However, I do have the anti-material rifle, so we're all good now. With the hunting revolver genuinely pissing me off because I'd wasted so many caps on the upgrades for it, I decided that I'm going to complete Return to Sender as quick as possible, as this is one of the only ways you can get the Ranger Sequoia without having to take anyone out, or waiting for NCR veteran Rangers to spawn in. You gotta speak to 5 stations, speak to one guy, speak to 3 more stations, and you can speak to Chief Hanlon. Once you speak to him, you can tell him that you know he's giving misinformation and messing up the NCRs. I tell him I'm gonna hand them in because getting people killed in an effort to save them doesn't make sense. And handing him into the NCR seems like the most NCR thing to do. And oh no, he's been taken out. Let me just take this Sequoia right over to this other room, and that's mine. I also decided to add the trail carbine as well to my arsenal, as that's a totally reasonable weapon for the Rangers. It's at this point I decide to attack the tops and attack Benny with my, well, explosive ammunition. The reason I'm doing it now is because once you attack Benny, Alario comes up and gives you the Mark of Caesar. Now you don't need the Mark of Caesar, you don't need the Platinum Chip. But why you do need them both is because it gives you a free pass to take the barge up to the fort. If you have a bad rep with the Legion, you cannot get to Caesar without getting the Mark. So that's why I completed all the anti-Legion quests as quick as possible, because once I got the Mark, I'm able to make my way over to Cottonwood Cove and start, well, you know, wiping people out. I make sure to save the Weathers family, and after taking out Cuzzer Lucullus, Boone lets us know that this might be the last boat ride we take. Is Boone dumb? Has Boone watched anything I've been doing up until this point? There's no way this will be our last journey. This is just some practice. To be honest, when I was doing this part, I thought this will be great. I can get a lot of caps out of this. I'll be able to sell a lot of the stuff I pick up here. Because taking out the fort is by no means a difficult task. It can be if you don't have the right weapons, but I'm walking in here with an anti-material rifle with explosive rounds. I don't even have to do my little sneaky strat of getting them all stuck behind that metal pole. I'm able to hit jump shots with the anti-material rifle, go back to my Modern Warfare 2 days, and finish off the last one with the Ranger Sequoia, which is one of my most favourite weapons. If you didn't know that, check out my top 10 Fallout New Vegas weapons. And I'm able to report into Colonel Moore. I mean, for some reason I can't tell anyone I took out Caesar. Only Boone recognises that I did it. No one brings it up. But with Caesar taken out, Boone also activates his quest. But before we do that, Boone, and I didn't mean this when I was recording the gameplay, before we go back and discuss all the horrible things that happened at Bitter Springs and all the regrets you have about the cans, let me just go wipe out all the cans first. I wouldn't want you to have any hang-ups by the time we get to Bitter Springs. With Papa Can taken out, we go help Boone. Help. I didn't mean to do it in this order, but watching it back now is quite funny. What's that, Boone? You want some help with the mental trauma because you believed you murdered a bunch of innocent people? Give me 1 second, let me finish off the job first. We wouldn't want to help your psychological state and then wipe them out. That might undo all the good. let's just make you as broken as possible, then help you out. And what kind of therapy do we have? We sleep on a rock and we take out more Legion. And after that, he's A-okay, except for the Cazadors, but psychologically he's all good. There ain't no more drama here, Boone. You're fine. And it's proof. Look, he's got the survival armor. That's the good one. With his new special armor acquired, I thought I'm going to start using some special armor too. So I pick up the special minigun, I pick up an incinerator and a hunting shotgun, and I put the NCR salvage power armor on myself for now, as I believe I'm going to need it for attacking Hidden Valley. This is a real difficult challenge. I mean, if you're comparing this to the fort, this is pretty hard. A good tip though, if you come at night and catch the patrol as they're leaving, you're able to take them out with a lot more open space to move. You don't have to fight all the Brotherhood of Steel at the top part of the bunker, which is probably the most difficult part. I use a hunting shotgun, which just rips through most of these power armored guys. And I use the incinerator on Paladin Ramos because he is just for some reason the weakest paladin ever existed. The good thing about here is that they just bunch up a lot, so an incinerator is able to do tons of damage. And also for every paladin I take out, I'm able to fix my own armor. A peek behind the curtain here though, at one point I accidentally fixed the Brotherhood armor with my salvage armor, so I had to do all of this again. But with the bunker destroyed, I thought, why stop the carnage? Why not head straight over to the Omeras? I know in terms of the NCR quest, you actually should do this properly, but there's no good people here. Cucino's not good, the Big Sal and Nero aren't good, so I actually think the best thing for the NCR is just to wipe them out. With that, I head over to Ranger Grant and protect the President. Now we're nearly in the end game, and it was here that I remembered I had one last bounty that I didn't collect. There is an unmarked quest for Motor Runner's helmet from Colonel Shu, so I head straight over to Vault 3 and just start blasting. You're also able to save a bunch of prisoners and save an NCR Ranger, so it feels like a very NCR quest. I use my secret weapon of magic. I mean, look at me. Look at that. That is a trick shot if I've ever seen one. With the key picked up of Daniel's body, I'm able to save these prisoners and go find the ranger who's been trapped down here. Bryce Anders is very stubborn and he is refusing to leave until he takes out Motor Runner. Luckily for him, I have the medicine and a doctor's bag to heal him up, and I feel very confident that Bryce Sanders is going to get back and I reloaded this part of the game probably more than any other part because I thought I really want to save Bryce Anders by the end, but I don't think you can. I think he has to get taken out. With Motor Runner's head handed in, I take all the armor off of Boone and head over to the dam. You might be wondering, why did I do that? And the simple answer, jeez, where am I? Am I inside Boone? Yes! Sorry about that. No, the reason I took the armor back off of Boone is because I'm going to be doing the Battle of Hoover Dam in stages. I'm going to be going through all 4 armors as I take out the Legion. The first part of the dam, I'm going to be the regular soldier. The mantle armor I got at the start of the game, the 9mm pistol, speak to fantastic, and once I reach topside, I'm back to the normal ranger. The NCR Ranger wants to remind you guys to like and subscribe this video if you've gotten this far and you have enjoyed it. And this is, to be honest, out of all of the NCR soldiers I've used, I think the Ranger's probably my least favourite. But I'll tell you who ain't my least favourite. Once we get to this point, I'm now the Veteran Ranger. This is probably my favourite one. The anti-material rifle is just the best weapon in the game. And when you add explosives, I mean, it's not a case of can I beat the game, it's a case of when am I going to beat this game. I'm able to take out all the Centurions with my... At this point I'm using the Trail Carbine just for variety. It's not because it's the best one for this situation, I just want to make sure I use it. Once I get through the gate, I take out the Sequoia and take out the last couple Prime Legionaries around. You might be wondering, where's the 4th armor? And I thought I'd save that for the battle with the Legate. Mainly because I really want to get this nice trick shot on all the Legion mongrels. With that done, I take my first shot at the Legate and immediately swap over to all my power armor weapons. That includes the incinerator, which I love, by the way. This is a really good weapon. I might do a Fallout 4 incinerator challenge, or even a Fallout New Vegas incinerator challenge, because this is a lot of fun. I also pull up my minigun, which at one point I was worried it was going to take out the Leggett too fast, because I did have a plan for him at the end of this. And with all the soldiers taken out, I pull up my hunting shotgun, put in my favourite ammo type of Dragon's Breath, and decide if I'm going to take him out, I want to take him out one-on-one. I even give him a chance to hit me, but since he missed, I decide to finish off the Leggett. With that, I'm able to head right over to the gate and speak to General Lee Oliver, finishing the game and answering the question that yes, you can indeed beat Fallout New Vegas as an NCR soldier. Thanks to everyone who got this far. I know it's been a little bit of a gap in between videos there, I do apologise for that. I have been working on a really big Fallout 4 challenge run, which is taking a lot of time. And I've been working on a new game for the channel, which is actually nearly finished. If you've got to this point, here's a little Easter egg for you. Write down Geralt in the comments. Remember to like the video and subscribe, it really does help out a lot. It is what the YouTube algorithm decides is a good video. Leave a comment down below for another challenge that you want to see. I do take all of them and put them in a nice little list, and I'm trying to work my way through them. And I just want to say a big thanks for all the support, guys. I really do appreciate it and look forward to new videos coming soon. Goodbye and take care.